Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about Greenland, the Denmark territory. Please remember to like and subscribe. Now let's get right into it. Fact 1. Part of Europe. Despite Greenland's location, which is really North America, Greenland is actually part of Europe. Its citizens are citizens of the Kingdom of Denmark, and they use euros instead of other kind of currency that you will find in North America. It is pretty interesting to me because it's very clear when you look on a map, Greenland should belong to North America because it is really in the North American continent. However, because of the people that settle there, they dictate what country or what continent it should be part of, and so geopolitically, it's part of Europe. It is an extension of Europe deep within North America. It's funny that the United States hasn't laid any claims to it except the airbase that it has in Greenland. Alright, let's get to the next fact. Fact 2. Permanent daylight savings. In 2023, Greenland decided to stop switching clocks back and forth and stay on the permanent daylight savings time. The reason for this is that this gives them more opportunity to not just enjoy sunshine in the summers, but also more time to talk to people in Denmark. Because as we just mentioned in the previous section, Greenland is really part of Denmark, and so a lot of business transactions or political transactions need to be coordinated with Denmark that's within Europe. And so with the time difference, having permanent daylight savings time, it reduces the hours that are different between Greenland and Denmark. This allows the citizens of Greenland to communicate with their counterparts in Denmark and also request specific items or political policies, etc. from Greenland with much easier way to set up meetings, because now the time gaps are much shorter and allow the Greenland people to be able to get more business done and more policies and political issues completed. Alright, let's get into the next fact. Fact 3. The largest island in the world. As you may know, the Earth is comprised of several continental land masses: Eurasia, Africa, Australia, North America, South America, etc. Greenland is not a continental mass. Greenland is a proper island, and it belongs really along the coast of the North American continent. However, Greenland is indeed the largest island in the world. It is so large that the next largest one, Papua New Guinea, is actually almost 2 times smaller than Greenland. Of course, Greenland's large landmass doesn't mean that it's heavily populated. In fact, we all know that Greenland is very sparsely populated and one of the most sparsely populated areas in the world. All islands that are smaller in size of Greenland is actually a lot smaller, and so Greenland stands out as the largest island in the world. And again, Australia doesn't count as an island because it counts as a continental landmass, and so the title of the largest island is still Greenland. Alright, let's get into the next fact. Fact 4. Ice-free North. Now when people think of Greenland, the image of massive ice shelves and massive glaciers come into mind. And it's mostly true. Most of the island is comprised of permanent ice caps. Throughout the whole year, even the summer month, the ice never fully melts, and so the interior of Greenland is always covered in ice. However, to the north, there's a section called Pearland that is actually free of ice for the entire year. It may surprise you to know that there's actually ice-free areas, and it's also to the most northern areas of Greenland. And the reason why this area is free of ice is because it's so dry. This area records so little rainfall and so little moisture that it is impossible for ice to form, because There's simply not enough water. And so in forAnyone, which is the northern part of Greenland, it is completely ice-free. There are mountain ranges in this area, and all the mountain caps are completely ice-free as well, which is a stark contrast to other tall mountains in the world where they will have a snow-capped summit because it is so cold and sustains ice all year round. In forAnyone in northern Greenland, it is the opposite. It is always barren. Alright, let's get into the next and last fact. The most settled in the West. Greenland being a large island, people could choose where they want to settle. And the best part of Greenland is actually on the west coast. On the west coast is where you'll see most of the settlements and the largest cities of Greenland. The west coast was chosen because the climate there allows ice-free passages from the ocean. If you think about it, if the seaports or the areas where they need transportation are always covered in ice or heavy snow, it'd probably be very challenging to get in and out. And so on the west coast of Greenland, there are settlements and cities where it's usually ice-free all year round and allows quick access by boat or ships. The largest city and the capital of Greenland, Nuuk, for example, is on the west coast. It is very interesting that obviously before the Europeans claimed Greenland, there was already indigenous people living there. And the indigenous people were spread out all over Greenland. They didn't concentrate on the west coast. But the Europeans, because they get to choose new settlement locations and new city locations, they're able to choose a site, an area that is most suitable and most favorable. If the indigenous people could have chosen, they probably would have congregated on the west coast too. But as you know, indigenous people continue to live where their ancestors lived for thousands of years and never really think about migrating to a different area. They continue their customs and their way of life where they were born and raised and pass it down to generation to generation. Alright, that's it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.